What's going on, guys? Today we're going to be explaining all of these settings so that you can find your perfect settings in Rocket League. Now, these are all very basic. I'd like to see them add a few more settings just so that you can kind of customize it a little bit more specific to yourself. Jumping into it, number one, if we start with the control customization screen, this is basically your HUD. This is what's going to allow you to change the size and the opacity of every single button in the game. So there I believe is only what like really, I mean, there's like a few more than 5 buttons, but there's the reset button, which is just for training mode, which basically just resets the goal right away, so you don't have to wait for the screen to load. You have your regular boost jump, you have your standard jump, and then over here you have your regular boost. So you have boost jump, the combination, the message buttons, and the reset button, as well as the settings button. Those are the only buttons that you can customize in Rocket League Sideswipe. Number two, this is how you enable yourself to have unlimited boost and free play. So when you're in here, you can just boost forever. There is no limit to how much you guys can boost. So you can sit here and just boost for absolutely ever. Next up, we have the camera orientation. This basically shows you what side do you want your goal on. So do you want your goal, so always defend left means that your goal is always going to be on the left side. If you want to defend right, your goal is always going to be on the right side of your screen. I prefer right, actually. No preference means that it's going to move left and right depending on the game all the time. Now, joystick size. This is really like a lot of preference. However, I've noticed that when you have it on the small joystick, you can make slightly, like, it's just a little bit easier. You don't have to move your finger as much to get more precise kind of movements with your car. You don't have to like move as far, so you can get like a little bit more specific. Now, joystick anchor determines how much the joystick can move from the center. So what this means on long is that my joystick, all right, so if we're looking at my joystick, it basically, once you're on the joystick, it's how far you can actually move your joystick. You can see we're almost basically to the bottom of the goal, as well as we can be all the way down towards the grass. So up towards the goal, down towards the grass. So it's basically how far you can move your joystick around. Shorter though is basically just how far. As you can see, we can only like go up to basically the bottom of the wall, where before we could go all the way up to the goals. Now, joystick lock, basically what this does is makes you where you can't move your joystick at all. It's only gonna be like stuck in that specific area. So once you're on there, which I think actually may be better, so I'm gonna have to test it out a little bit more, but I've been playing with it on unlocked, and I actually think that I would rather have it unlocked. So locked on joystick basically means that it's not going to move around. It won't follow your thumb. It'll follow your thumb once you originally place it if it's not directly on it, but then once you're pressing down on your joystick, it's not going to move it anymore. Now, network input buffer, basically aggressive. This is just if you're really laggy, this will put a buffer so that it's not as laggy for you. I don't know exactly how they can do that with other people. Maybe they just find everybody with a more laggy connection and they can put everybody that has aggressive together. All right, but enable network statistics. This basically just shows you what your ping is in game, as well as like a couple of other things. Enabled forced feedback allows certain in-game events to use I really like forced feedback. I don't know. I think this is simply for the game developers to see like they're like, I don't know what haptic force feedback is. I'm not sure what that is, to be honest with you. I believe it's simply on the developer side so that they can see any issues with the game. So I figure have that on regardless, because it's not going to change anything. But now, enable camera motion control allows the menu to access device motion data to tilt the camera. Now, this is if you hold the phone in your hand, you're going to be able to adjust it. I play on a flat surface. Now, this is swap boost jump control inputs. This is basically just if you had a controller, and it's going to swap your boost button and your jump button. That's it. And then you can obviously reset it all to default. Now, audio is pretty basic. Game volume, music volume, music, whether you want the music to be muted, always on, in training mode only, or off. You can also do that here by turning on your music on or off there as well. Headphones, basically you can unselect that and you can change either if you don't play with headphones or if you play with headphones. Shouldn't really have a big impact there. And then obviously graphics. Now this, if you are lagging, you can lower your graphics a little bit, which should help you with frames. You can also adjust how many frames you're trying to get. Enable frames per second display. This shows you how many frames you have, and you can see I have 60, 59, 60, 60, 60s, and it's in the top right there. So you can just see as you do different things and you're in games with other people, you can drop your frames a little bit. So just keep. For the last one, we have use high quality grass during gameplay. Show the grass. It basically is useless. You can take that off and it's just going to show you a more basic. But yeah, that's pretty much all of the settings. As I guess we kind of figure out more and the game develops, we'll probably get a bunch more settings, but that is all we have. Hopefully I explained that pretty good. A couple of them are a little bit weird, but I figure I can explain the majority of them so that you guys have a better idea moving forward.